But this world, as big as it is, one person can be the tipping scale to really create a domino effect that no one ever seen coming. I would like to remind people, there's going to be a lot of people that's going to judge you and tell you you're too naive.
I start by saying that there are multiple different conversations that comes when it comes to future of work trends.
One thing that I always find really interesting is how many people kind of all agree that this is the time for Africa to shine and there is a lot happening out there, but no one has really taken the step to do anything. So it's very
this question where you're applying for the job, they say you don't have any experience, but you need experience to have experience.
With all the measures of caution back to normal in order to keep our societies functioning.
Hello all. Thank you for attending this great experiment, and thanks for having me. It is an honor to be a keynote speaker for the first summit where the audience does not have to wear pants.
I want to reframe artificial intelligence, reframe AI as a potential remover of fear and not the cause. I'm sure this is something that we hear a lot in our various businesses and our conversations, that AI is going to be this global catastrophic risk and end us all, especially if you're fans of sci-fi.
So the blockchain and cryptocurrencies represent a whole new different world. It's like a different universe in which we get to write the rules.
So in this particular photo, we did a documentary about what quarantine looked like in Hangzhou, China, when COVID first hit. And we were able to play that experience with a group of our colleagues and peers, watch it and discuss it together inside of VR.
AI and quantum computing and brain-computer interfacing and the future of computing, it's all based on mastery of matter at the nano scale.
For the first time for this country, I see say young people come together, do something. Nobody talk about the kind church where they go, the kind God where they pray to, the tribe where you come from, the language where they speak, the clique where you did, the economic class where you did. I just did for everything just they happen like clockwork.
So, you have a lot of young people who are getting into positions where they can influence more things happening for us in the tech ecosystem. And I think that is great.
Yeah. Somebody passe $1,000 par mois. Qui va combien de jeunes qui carrent fort li? Ou bien, on peut parler. Pour l'autre bagarre, on peut écouter maman en Haïti. Pour ouvrir une compagnie SA, faut ouvrir un compte en banque dans BLC avec 100 000 gouttes sous lui. L'on fin ouvrir une compagnie ça, ou à dans BLC, il faut rouvrir l'autre compte encore. Ça crée avec 100 000 gouttes là.
You know that women make up half of the world's working age population, but right now are generating about 37% of GDP.
To me, it's really easy. And if you think about the technologies today that can even examine patients remotely, where you have devices like this, the Med one, for example, which can do a number of physical examinations remotely.
I say to a lot of entrepreneurs that you have to treat every situation as though it is an investor meeting, as though it is something that's significant that can support you with your business.
We have the world's first and largest digital accelerator. We have been running digital accelerators for the past 6 years. So we're so excited again to bring you this program virtually so you can still engage with this content.
Hello, everyone. good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are, and welcome to another session of this Economic Accelerator program. It's been a couple of days since we last met, and hope we're all doing well. As we usually do, as we start in the chat feed, kindly let us know your name and where you're joining in from. At the beginning, I want us to do a little bit of an exercise to see the kind of programs that we have on, and see the kind of companies that we have, or what are you into, right? So as you share, kindly let us know what inspired you to start your entrepreneurship or your journey, your entrepreneurship journey, or what made you start your program in terms of what you do, your startup, what made you, what inspired you to start your company or your organization. Let us know in the chat feed, okay? Waiting to see some comments from you. Welcome everyone, and just want to see we have exciting news later today concerning the page competition, and want to see just want to know what inspired you to start your organization. Let us know in the chat feed, okay? So put that in the chat feed. You can introduce yourself and then the name of your organization. Let us know what inspired you to start your organization, okay? Let us know in the chat feed. Welcome as you keep checking in. Let us know what inspired you to start your organization, okay? Welcome. I see more people keep trickling in. So welcome to another session. This is the fifth session, I believe, for 2025 edition of the GSE Digital Startup Accelerator program. Welcome, as usual, I'm your host, Mr. Neil Tete. And before we go into today's session, I want to find out what inspired you to start your company. So put in the chat feed what inspired you to start your company, okay? What inspired you to start your organization? What inspired you to start your company? Let us know in the chat feed. Okay, as we wait for the comments to come in, I want to spotlight a few of those. So let's keep your comments coming. What inspires you to start your company? Let us know. And as usual, by now you should know the mission for our organization, which is to prepare individuals and organizations for the digital age by organizing digital programs such as these. To help promote digitization. So it's one of the ways in which we do that, right? And have you also let us know, have you been to any of GSE's programs, be it a summit or a webinar before? Because we bring together both private and public stakeholders to address humanity's greatest challenges via exponential technologies and entrepreneurship, which means that we have regional based summits as well as country based summits. So we've been to a number of countries and a number of regions to have summits and engage with the ecosystem over there. And we do this by being led by three core pillars, which are education, employment, and entrepreneurship. So you find that most of our programs are geared towards addressing these three main needs that we've identified. Okay. And over the course of this program, we've heard from quite a number of speakers. If you remember the very first session, we heard from our founder, Christine Tim. We also heard from James Baroud, who is the founder of and CEO of Innovation Plus. We had a fireside chat with him, very interesting conversation, if you do remember. Then for the panelists, we had Yang Chung and Michael Carrot from Startup IQ and then Pixit, who delved quite deep into some conversations about entrepreneurship and some of the things that you need to know. It was quite a powerful session from them. It was a very good way to start the program, I must say. And then for session 2, we also had a very motivational speech from Sabrina Lam for the keynote as well. Then we had a powerful session about partnerships and then creating bonds that last with Nina Joachim Maka and Kathleen Nero also coming on to speak to us for the second session. And for the third session, we had a pitch with Purpose workshop where we heard from our founder Christine team about the do's and don'ts of pitching and what you need to know. I think it was quite a memorable session where she taught you a lot of things about pitching and what you need to have as a founder on the ready. So how many of you have had your videos recorded and put in private ready for presentation, and then your one-pager about your organization as well as your pitch deck of 10 slides ready? How many have done that? Let us know. Then you also heard from Nyama Ralph from the team talking about reinventing yourself and how to reinvent yourself as an entrepreneur or as a business as well. Talking about that. So that was what we had for the third session on October 24th. And then we also heard from on Tuesday, right? Yes, on Tuesday we heard from Bruce, where he gave you 10 tips. And those tips, I think, are memorable for those that took notes on those about making the opt-in a default, and also having case studies on what others are doing, right? And toning down the options to two, like you have a lot of options, but then you tone them down to two to get it going or to get people involved at the beginning. Also, it talked about removing friction, that's compliance issues, red tape, and delays in order to make it easy for customers to engage. And it's also important to list your benefits. I remember Bruce talked about that, and then also about mass customization and celebrating success and showing up as well. So he gave those 10 tips. That was quite, I think, quite helpful to us as founders. Then we also heard from the panelists, Mike Britt and then Georgie Ann, who talked about scaling globally as well, and then talk about the importance of proper communication as well as keeping records or database and tracking your clients as well. So those are some of the takeaways from the fourth session. And as you remember, I talked about the pitch competition that we want you to take part in. So we've remember the deadline to submit us today, and for the first 50 people that submitted their details, the selection has been made in terms of for you to have the opportunity to organize for votes from your community. We are going to I'm going to announce those that have been selected, and then the link for voting would be sent after the session via email. So we look forward to that as well. But as we go on the session, I'll announce the 50 that have been selected for the opportunity to canvas for votes from the ecosystem, right? If you remember, we said we were going to have a pitch competition where 10 of you will be selected to pitch during the GSE Digital Startup Summit, which will be on November 19th. So we'll be going through that as well. But Here's also trying to share the core feature for those that have submitted early on. If you don't see here, it means it's been updated for the new entries that have been sent in. So we look forward to receiving your entries as well. But in terms of the pitch competition, we have the 50 that submitted first, and we're working with those 50 and we'll be announcing them. I'll be announcing them before the end of this session to for us to all know who has been selected, and then you look forward to the email for the link that you'll be sharing to the community to be able to vote for you. Okay. So remember, we talked about submitting information to be featured, and the feature form is what the feature flyer is what I just sent to you. This one that has your images and then your organizations on it. And out of that, we'll be selecting 50 to be taking part in the voting, right? And the voting begins on November 3rd. So that's Monday next week at 8 a.m. EST Eastern Time. And it closes on November 10th, right? And out of the 50, the top 10 with the most votes will be selected to demo and pitch on Demo Day, which is at the GSE Startup Summit on November 19th. Okay, so that's something to look forward to. So, okay, so how many? Let me know how many. Okay, so here what says. Just going through, yeah, I think there's something wrong with the Facebook. So I shared the link for YouTube email as well just before the session started. So you can look forward to that. Okay. Look forward to, you could just, for those who haven't, you see, I send the email to join via the YouTube link. Okay, and there's an issue with the Facebook. So I'm just going to the comment on what inspired you to start your company. Okay, so I see a comment from Funzi Tech Solutions that says, I started because many startups fail within 4 years of opening. So I decided to do something about it by offering business, sales, marketing, and branding services to bring a change within the space. Okay, so you wanted to help startups. Okay, that's great. And he says his life experience, or she says her life experience. What happened in your life that made you start up your company? Let us know. Let us know in the chat feed what made you start up your company. Just so share in the chat feed what made you start up your company. Okay. Waiting for some comments. As we wait for the comments to come in, we'll take a brief break and then come back. Okay. Okay, welcome back. And so we want to know the story behind your startup. Let us know in the chat feed. But as we wait, I'd like to announce the 50 that have been selected, and then let me know if you see your name. Okay. I see from Impact Partners that I founded a company after recognizing that many time-consuming tasks could be efficiently automated through the implementation of proper systems and processes. Okay. So from the submission so far, I'm seeing that most of you saw a gap, right? There was a gap there was a problem you saw that you wanted to solve. And that is what led you to start your company. So it's not based off of a whim, but it's something that you saw needed to be addressed, and you took the leap to address it. So well done to you on that in terms of identifying that issue that needed to be solved in your community and being able to do something or find a solution to it. Okay. So for the pitch competition, those who are canvassing for votes, mind you, the first 50 that submitted their details to be featured were selected, and out of that 50, you'll be able to canvass for votes from your community or ecosystem. So you could share the link. The link will be shared after the session today for you to share with your community to vote for you. The top 10 with the most votes will be selected to pitch during the GSE Digital Summit, Startup Summit on November 19th. Okay, so that's something to look forward to. The top 10, you have a very short time to do your presentation. So make use of your time, prepare from the tips that Christine shared the other day in terms of the things to do when pitching and things not to do. We look forward to hearing your pitching and seeing what you have in store for us. Okay. So these are the 50 that have been selected. Right, this is the selection for the demo day pitch. Let me know if you see your name. I'm going to try to read through the list. I didn't really want to do it because I didn't want to butcher anyone's name, but I'll try and mention the names and hopefully forgive me for if I mispronounce your name. Okay, so we have Yanda Machi from Biotic Concepts and Mark Sikubau of Queen Keller Mark Ibrahim Limited and Ronald Kayisi of Kami, Hafida Belide of YMA Digital, Rebecca Kurima from Bex Services, John Bosco Ford of Cora Ride, Theodore Kanjo Inji from One Way AI, then Davis Wabwa from Alpha IT Solutions, Augustine Okonko from Kunova Impact Partners. I think I just saw something about your organization in the comments. So, Okonova, yes. Then Victor Onyekachuku from Corp Cura Limited. Then we have Melanie Mamalawa from Melanie Wamawa from Sustain Energy Solutions Limited. Then we have Fanuel Almao from Asquala Link, Nathan Kimutai from Green Tech, Lisio Lentimo from Bolin Academy, Timothy Wachira from Swipe Rights Management, Eugene Mutembe from Technition Kenya, Marinila Kaini Yu from JNK Emerald Limited, Luatobi Adiogun from Trix, Afanfiolo Idun from Dotion, Adedwale Oseni from WTC Business Solutions, Bejan Moyes from United Solutions, Said Alfaiga from Barim, Ibrahim Guma from Tech Tribe Cyber Launch, Frankel Junrisa from CSH Direct SA, Yvette Massey from Usmlet, Sydney Nyako from Prima, Musa Juba from MyPack, Nancy Ambayu Uyugi from Akosian, Fia Rajesh from Plex Private Limited, Nelson Tomoko from Smarts Mavuno, George Krista from Pocket Watch AI. So for Pocket Watch, I know you the founder and then you are co-founders, but so we are giving this one slot for the Pocket Watch AI. So both of you can get a chance to share. And Richard Rajwari from Kazi Mahiri, Rafael Tesfaye from Advanced Construction and Investment Company, Georgina Kimani, co-founder and CTO of Soko Technologies, Emmanuel Indua from EduTech and ICT Kid Nexus, Kenneth Indugi from Nexus Technologies Limited. I see Nexus already. Okay, then Faith Uwa from Inclusive Impact Network, Mariana from IFED, Daniel Magi from Uhula Yusuf from Yawa App Technologies, Aaron Mo from Vesid, Clifford Butuma from Biotech Solutions Limited, Abioye Bamiseli from Fuzi Tech Solutions, then Leonard Odigo from Bora, Karith Inki from Q, Reverend John Katanga from Amicaf, Tofiki Nagash from Awash, Boniface Otieno from Jigo, Godfrey Kamal from Okago Limited, and Raymond McLean from Avion Media and Cloud Services. So let me know if you see your name or your company on the screen. It means you've been selected to canvas for votes from your community. So congratulations for being selected to pitch for this. Okay, I'm going to leave this here for a while and then for you to go through and see for everyone to be able to see their names. Okay. Okay, so congratulations to everyone that has been selected. I see Fuzitech. Yes, I remember seeing Fuzitech in there, and I'm like, oh yeah, I see his comments all the time. So congratulations to you if you've been selected. And we're going to continue with this. Hopefully, we will be able to canvas for enough votes to be able to pitch to your community or pitch to the wider global community. Okay, so congratulations to you for being selected to take part in this pitch competition. Okay. Congratulations to everyone whose name is on the list. Now we'll dive into our session for today. Where, we're going to have, for the panel discussion, we'll have Dylan and Laurie. I don't see Laurie, and I think Laurie is running behind time, but in the interest of time, we'll have to still carry on with the session. Okay. So those asking for the link, it will be shared after the session via email. Okay. So, and remember, vote starts on November 3rd. That's on Monday. So it will be shared before then for you to be able to take part in that session. Okay. Take part in the voting as well. Okay. So today we're going to talk about the Founders Edge. Okay. And to help me with this discussion, we'll have amazing lineup of speakers. I have one on, so we'll start the conversation. If Laurie comes in, then she could join in as well. Okay. So without wasting my time, it's my pleasure to welcome Dylan from Different Health to come in talk about the Founders Edge, Different Health. Okay. So welcome.
Hello, what's going on, Daniel? How are we doing?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm super excited to be here. Happy Friday.
Yeah, happy Friday to you. It's great to meet you. And although it was meant to be a panel, it seems like we're going to have a fireside chat, which is not Beautiful. Too bad anyway. So we'll kick on right with it. But before we get into the discussion, kindly do introduce yourself and tell us what you do.
Most certainly. Everybody, my name is Dylan Gambardella. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a side hustle rock star. I'm in a band, but we're not here to talk about that necessarily. We're here to talk about how we can all be our best selves as founders. I started a few companies in my day, predominantly NextGen HQ and Different Health. NextGen HQ is all about helping young people think like entrepreneurs to succeed at work and in life. And Different Health is about optimizing our health, right? Nice name, Different Health, optimizing your health, so that we can have the best foundation for a long, healthy life. Not just longevity, but also today. How can we perform at our best through using health as a performance catalyst? We'll probably talk about some of that today too, but very grateful to be here and excited to learn from you all and hopefully add some value.
Thank you. So now that we've set the stage, I know you mentioned that you've built really impactful brands from ground up, and if you don't mind, can you share your founder journey and a key turning point that shaped your leadership approach?
Yeah, most certainly. Ultimately, for me, as a lifelong athlete, I played basketball, a bunch of sports, and maybe as a student, right? Some folks out there will resonate with that today. You go to the gym, you run a marathon, whatever it might be. When I was building my first startup, NextGen HQ, I always try to treat my body like an athlete, because I felt that if I get good sleep, if I eat the right things, if I get to the gym, hopefully a few times a week, I'm going to be my best self as a CEO, as a founder. And that led me at 22 years old, when I first got to New York City, where I'm based, to try to piece together my own journey, right? I'm sure, Daniel, you know LeBron James, right? One of the most famous athletes in the world. I think LeBron says he spends about $3 to $5 million a year on his body. That's wonderful. I didn't have $3 to $5 million at 22 years old to spend on my body. So I tried to do little things, right? And find this and that and here and on my own, and the DIY, right? Do it yourself version. And that's what led me to find out about diagnostics, explore blood work, get to learn from some amazing doctors, right? Maybe names like Peter Attia or Dr. Andrew Huberman. Maybe you know these through social media. And these are the folks that I just learned from and was inspired by. And over the years of building my startup, I started to tell other founder friends, hey, are you working on being your best self? Because if you're not your healthiest self, how the heck are you going to be your best at the office, in the boardroom, in the late nights, and the long meetings, the stressful days? And that's where this concept of, if we can optimize our health, we can probably have a really wonderful foundation to optimize our performance. That was the seeding of different health. And so we exist to help individuals, but also teams take that mindset. And ultimately in 2024, we decided to go build that company, right? It worked for me as an individual. It worked for my Next Gen HQ team. Let's go build it for other companies, other teams. And that's where we are today. So very excited and grateful to be on this journey, trying to be my healthiest self, trying to be my most successful and productive and fulfilled self. A million different elements and ups and downs and failures and successes along the way, of course. But I'm grateful to be building a company that I get to enjoy first and foremost. Right? I think that's a lovely part of entrepreneurship. I'm building for myself, right? Not that it's only for Dylan, but everything we do, I get to benefit from. And that's a pretty cool experience.
That's really great and great insights shared. And thank you for sharing that as well. I'm going to now talk about building teams, right? So in building teams, what qualities do you prioritize when building or scaling a team, especially where, as a startup or as a new organization, every hire matters at the beginning.
Certainly.
So what qualities do you prioritize?
So important, Daniel. The team is everything. So my number one piece that I look for when hiring is the entrepreneurial mindset. By that, I mean, how resilient are they? How much of a problem solver are they? We have a few core values here at Different Health that also are very similar in Action HQ. One of them is called be a finisher, okay? A finisher. What does that mean, be a finisher? For us, in our interpretation, it means if I tell Staniel, hey, Staniel, here's the problem, here's the goal, here's the objective. Are we understanding it the same way? Have to make sure that you understand what we actually aim to achieve. But then Staniel is going to do it from start to finish. He's not going to come back to me with a 60% finished product and say, hey, Dylan, here you go. Good luck taking it over the finish line. No, he's going to do it himself. And that is so important at an early stage. As much as people out there might love managing and love coaching, that's great. When you are a pre-seed or even seed stage company, you need to move with urgency. You need to move so fast. And sometimes management slows down progress, right? If you can instead have an entrepreneur in a team member, right, who has the entrepreneurial mindset, who is being a finisher, who's going from start to finish and coming to you when they need help, most certainly asking questions, but taking ownership of the final product, that's a good hire. And so what I like to do, if possible, is when we get started, find a short-term project, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, something like that. Paid, of course. But if you can find a project, you'll learn how this person thinks, how they act, how they work. And you'll start to see, are they a finisher? And again, at some point in the future of your business, you might not need everybody to have that same mentality. You might need individual contributors to do one-off tasks, and that's okay. But the mindset is so important. Do they look to solve problems? Do they look to come to you with solutions? These are the things that as a CEO, as a founder, you just need. You don't have time to also do their job. You're hiring them because you don't have time, right? Because you need their expertise. And these are some of the things that I find instrumental in any startup success. They have a team of entrepreneurs, right? 3, 4, 5, 6 entrepreneurs, even though there's only one CEO or a couple of founders, right? Everybody's bringing their entrepreneurial mindset to work.
Great. And now the team is, you are setting up the team, right? And how do you keep the team aligned and motivated when there's uncertainty? Because there will be uncertainty at the beginning and there will be some changes as well. So how do you keep the team aligned and motivated during such times?
It's so important to be transparent, Daniel. I think about from first company to second company, right? The second time founder advantage. You try to, as a early young entrepreneur, right? Everybody out here is young, probably building their first company. We're all teens, 20s, whatever it is. We have this imposter syndrome that gives us some fear to tell the truth in a way where we always want to make it seem like things are good, right? There's no problem. The sun is always shining. We're going to be a billionaire, right? All these things. And look, that might be true. I hope the sun is always shining. That's lovely. But if you can invite your team in to the hard conversations, if they're the right team members, they will care more, right? We can't have mercenaries at an early stage startup. We can't have paid hires who are there for a salary. Don't get me wrong. Cash is important and that is necessary, but there needs to be motivation behind the equity, the ownership, right? Of what this can grow into, not just what it is today. And I find that when I tell my team how it is, and I say, hey, we're struggling with this. We set this goal. We're not going to achieve it. Why not? They take ownership. They take responsibility. Again, that means they're the right people. That's not holistically true with everybody. You got to find the right individuals who come in with eyes wide open. I actually give people reasons why they shouldn't join the team. I tell them you're going to work long hours, you're going to work hard. It's not going to be easy work sometimes. You're not going to know the answers. I might not be available to show you the way always. You're going to have to figure it out on your own, right? These are problems. Some people want a job where they can have a great management structure. They know their 9 to 5 hours. They understand what they're doing every day. That is wonderful, and I wish you well. You probably shouldn't join an early stage startup, right? And so when it comes to motivation, again, just to summarize, I think the right people want it all. They don't just want the bells and whistles. They want the problems. They want when you're stuck in the mud and you got to get through. And ultimately, Daniel, those are the times the team comes together and rallies and builds culture, builds camaraderie in a beautiful way. And if you realize that some people aren't a fit there, it's not a comment, good or bad. It just is what it is. And they should probably go get a corporate job or join a later stage company, right? And they should not be on your boat today at this point in time.
That's true. And I do agree with that in terms of people, the ones with the right motivation, you would find them. You don't have to struggle to get them on the same wavelength as you. Amen. And I want us to now move to a topic that is not, I believe is not discussed enough, right? We know founders usually talk about hustling or the hustle, but rarely do we talk about the burnout. So I want to find out, how do you maintain balance and promote well-being for yourself as a founder and then for your team as well?
Oh, it's so important. You know, the term that I like to use, Daniel, is actually work-life harmony. I say harmony because ultimately I don't think today, at least in my 20s, that balance, 50-50 balance at least, is what I'm aiming for. I love to work. For me, work is fun. It's play, right? It's what I choose to do. I'm working on something I care about. So, Daniel, would I ever tell you that you can only play 50%? No, of course, right? They do in a dream world what you find fulfillment and happiness from. Obviously, you got to pay the bills, pay for a home, pay for food, right? Don't get me wrong. Maybe you want a nice thing or two every now and then. I get it. But for me, harmony means building the perfect life for Dylan. Now, I have this analogy I always think about. Take a pie chart, right? Take a circle. You only have this circle. The circle doesn't get bigger or smaller, but you have a circle that represents your time. It's up to you to choose how you want to divvy up each pie. So for me, on one week, work might be 70% of the pie, right? It might be over, maybe I had 4 work events a night. I had a work dinner, and then I had a conference I was going to, and I had a recruiting event, and I went to, so it might be 70, 80, 90% of my time on a weekly basis. The next week, maybe I had a family wedding. Maybe my sister had my baby nephew, Cooper, right? And I'm going to go and maybe have 70% family and 30% work, right? Doesn't mean I'm not working hard or smart, but it's up to me to decide that balance. What is the foundation, though, and never changes, is health. I have this mentor, his name is Strauss Zelnick, who shared with me one of the most profound and impactful frameworks to think about work-life harmony. So if you're out there, you're very busy, you're working hard like me, like Daniel, we get it. You probably had a workout on your calendar sometimes. Maybe it's 9 a.m. or 5 p.m., but you have workout blocked on the calendar and you're super excited for that. But then the day comes, you wake up and you have 40 emails. You know, the big client has a question, you need to update the proposal. Oh my God, what do I do? What happens often? You probably skip the workout, right? Because you cancel the workout to do the work thing. This mentor, Strauss, he said to me, Dylan, if you and I had a meeting, if Strauss, this very successful, ultra wealthy and accomplished individual, if he and I had a meeting, would I cancel on him the morning of? No way, right, Daniel? If you had like the dream, you never cancel. So why do you cancel on yourself, right? He asked me, he said, Dylan, when life gets busy, why do you cancel on yourself? Aren't you the most important person in your life? Forget about me, right? I'm just a guy. Yeah, I have some good advice, but who's more important, the mentor or you, right? And when he put in that frame, I realized how often I was canceling on myself because I know the importance of what health and wellness mean to Dylan, what a workout, what the mental benefits are, the emotional, the physical benefits, both today and long term. And I was canceling on myself far too often. So I made a commitment. And I tell my team, I show on my calendar when I'm working out. They see Dylan's at the gym for an hour. Now, am I checking email sometimes? Of course, right? Am I like on Slack? Yes. Not all the time. Sometimes. I try not to. I try to really give myself that 45-minute, an hour break, whatever it is, so I can come back stronger. But I'm very transparent. And to your point, Daniel, about the team, I think this is a cultural thing. I used to be the founder who wanted everybody to work 24/7 because I worked 24/7. But that doesn't actually achieve the results we're looking for, right? It is nice in the short term and sometimes it's necessary. You run into burnout quickly. Motivation drops. What happens when you're working 100 hours and you don't have the motivation anymore? You're in trouble. We want to take a sustainable approach. We work super hard, but we all know that we're building a healthcare business that starts with ourselves. We can't help others optimize their health unless we're optimizing our health. So something we're going to do actually in the new year is start a little bit of a challenge, be very public about it and say every team member here at Different Health is going to pick a few health markers that they want to improve: strength, body composition, blood work, whatever it is. And we're going to track that. And we're going to tell the story of how we're doing that. And then we're going to see what happens. We're going to follow the results and see who can achieve their goals, the whole team, and invite everyone else out there too to come on and do it with us, right? So follow me on LinkedIn. If you're interested, you can come join the challenge. But these are the things that I think start from the founder, start from the CEO, right? Whoever's at the top. If you want a healthy organization, get healthy yourself. Prioritize health, right? That's the simple truth. It's not easy. Don't get me wrong. Happy to answer any questions and be helpful if possible. But these are the things we got to do together, most certainly.
It's amazing, because no one helped their company by being sick or by being unhealthy. So it's important to prioritize your health as well. And I want to find out what leadership habits have helped you create a high performance environment without sacrificing empathy or creativity.
And I'll do a quick shout out to Hiwat in the comments. I love this. I'm so happy to hear. I just saw that you were able to solve your own illness, right? That's awesome through functional health ways. Proud of you. Congratulations. I love it. That's awesome. So inspiring and something that we can all learn from, right, for ourselves. In terms of how to lead with empathy, but also, be a high performance founder. Daniel, I think ultimately we respond well to metrics, right? Setting goals. It's objective. Let's just say that we have a goal for Q4. We want to do $100,000 in revenue, right? Very simple goal, right? Did we hit it? Are we on track to hit it? If I said to you, okay, let's just use Q1 2026. We want to do 100,000 in revenue after 3 months. So if we want to do 100,000 in 3 months, I'd say by like the halfway point, we want to be at least, 30, 40, right, percent of the way through. So let's say 6 weeks come, are we at 30, 40%? If not, our goal's in trouble, right? So these are things I can talk about easily. No judgment. It's not Dylan saying you're good or you're bad. It's a fact. Have we hit our goal? Are we on track for our goal? Or are we not? I like leading with metrics because it allows the individual to have something to look to. It allows the manager, the team to hold each other accountable. And I think very similarly with our health, by the way, right? Then I can be a partner with you. I can say, Daniel, let's go achieve this goal together. Hey, we're not on track. How can we work together to get back on track? What can we try? Should we have a team meeting? Should we get creative? Should we have ideas come together? Right? Whatever it is. And that's the empathy piece. Ultimately, your team needs to know that you care about them. They need to know that you see them. Oh, my video cut out. I'm back. The team needs to know that you care about them. They need to know that you see them. You see them working hard, that you're going to show up for them. You're going to prioritize their personal best interests. And if they feel that, then it's a safe environment to go out and be creative, to go out and try. Whenever we're backed against a wall, no one's going to be creative, right? Take the analogy. If you are scared, you're playing defense. What startup has won by playing defense? Right? Nobody, right? Maybe in professional sports, You know, some teams have the strategy, play defense, defense wins championships. That's great. Not in early stage startups. That's the opposite, right? You are the innovator. You are the challenger. You need to challenge, and the only way you do that is by taking gambles, by being aggressive, by getting out there and doing something different. That's not defense. So your people need to feel safe to fail. They need to know that you care about them, and then use metrics to help you judge: are we on track? Are we not? How is this going? So they don't have to worry, Dylan doesn't like me, Dylan thinks I'm bad at my job. No. Metrics help us to be our best.
Great, great. Really amazing insights, and I'm really loving this conversation. And I want us to talk about brand purpose, authenticity, right? How does your mission or brand purpose influence the way you build and lead your team?
Oh, it's everything. It is everything. At NextGen HQ, we talk all the time about thinking like entrepreneurs. Our mission is to help 1 million young people develop an entrepreneurial mindset to achieve their goals at work and in life. At Different Health, our mission is to help millions optimize their health so that health is the reason they can do things, not the reason they cannot do things. It starts with us, right? We bring it back to the mission all the time. In a perfect world, right here on my wall, I would have the big mission statement, but I imagine it's there, right? I'm sure there's some fancy AI tech that we could like virtually put a background up that says the mission right here anyways, right? That's not a problem. If you lead with that, people respond to missions. Why do your team members join your startup? Is it for the salary? Probably not, right? I don't know any startup that's paying the best salaries, right? Maybe not at an early stage at least. Do they join because of some future cash potential? Sure, that's fine. But they're joining because they care about the work you're doing. Embrace that. And don't stray too much. Don't stray too far. What I've found is that the most motivated startup team members are there because they respect the founders. They want to work with those founders. They want to work on the problem space that you're solving, and they want to do it with the group that you put together. That's it, right? That's the simplest piece. The mission is so core to that. The brand purpose is so core to that. And if you bring it up, if you just talk about it, it doesn't have to be every day, right? You don't have to be on Slack. Hey, don't forget our mission. Don't forget our brand purpose. No. But when you come together, maybe on your all hands meeting, right at the top of the doc, put the goal, right? Put that brand identity, that brand purpose, or quarterly or monthly. If you send investor updates, right? Hammer it home, and you'll watch how people make it their own, right? For me and Staniel, if we had the same vision for how to make 1 million young people, help them think like entrepreneurs, Staniel might have different ideas than Dylan, and that's a beautiful thing. But that requires us both internalizing the brand purpose to then be our best selves as caring team members. And that's success. Now we have 2 people thinking about how to win, not just one. And ultimately, that's going to be the reason you succeed.
Great, amazing. And in that team, now that you have your internal culture, right? How can you ensure that it reflects the external brand identity that they project?
Ultimately, it's got to be something that your people really internalize and take ownership of. So for social media, for LinkedIn, right? I write a lot on LinkedIn. I talk about health and building a startup and different ideas in that space. If I'm not posting with this mindset, who else is, right? If I'm not living this brand purpose, well, then I can't expect anyone else to. So it starts with the founder. You have to put the onus on you. And some days you're going to be tired. Some days you're going to be exhausted. You're going to be like, oh, I need sleep. You should probably sleep. That's a good thing. But you also can't forget about why you're here, right? Understanding your why. That was one of our core values in NextGen HQ. That's the foundation, right? If you know your why, Simon Sinek says start with why. If you can do these things, well, then imagine what's possible once people build off of that why. And that's the beautiful piece. Social media, LinkedIn, your emails. If you want to be a positive team, if that's part of your brand, your emails need to have some positivity, some good energy to them, right? There's no world where you can walk this line both ways. So that's something that we think about a lot and aim to, again, really prioritize. It's not easy. It is fun, though, I will say that. But you are your best accountability partner. So it's up to you.
Amazing. And I'd like to thank you for your insights for the session today. It's been amazing. A lot of takeaways, a lot of truths that I believe everyone will resonate with. So, but as we wrap up, I'd like to know, although it's something more actionable in terms of for our founders that are on the session today who are building their first team, what 2 lessons or mindset shifts do you wish you knew when starting out so that they could learn from that?
Take complete ownership. Number 1, take complete ownership. No one is going to save you. No one's going to solve your problems. Not an investor, not a customer, not a new team member. It's up to you. It starts with you, it ends with you. It's a beautiful thing. It's scary, but if you embrace it, you are capable of freaking anything. You're going to crush it. Take ownership of that. Go out there and do it. Number 2, it's a long game. When I was younger, I wanted success today. I wanted it now. I wanted the money. I wanted the success. I wanted the things that come with that. That will happen. I guarantee you it's going to be longer than you expect. Guarantee you. And by the way, that's actually a feature. It's not a bug. That's the best part, because things worth having take time. And over that journey, you will grow into a stronger, more resilient person. You'll discover more about yourself. You'll learn about your gut, your intuition, what excites you, what brings you happiness. Keep pulling toward that. Like, keep pulling that thread. Follow your curiosity and know that it's a long game. And if you're coming at it with the right mentality, the right mindset, it doesn't guarantee you'll be a billionaire by any means, but it guarantees that you will find what you're meant to in life. And that's why we're here. And if I can be helpful along any part of that journey, please reach out. Dylan Gambardella, right here on LinkedIn. You can email me, dylan@differenthealth.com, dylan@nextgenhq.com. If I can be helpful to anybody out there, I was in your shoes years ago, right? Now, granted, I'm still on my own journey. So not that I know everything, but if I know 1 or 2 things that can help, I'm here for that. And Staniel, thank you for having me. It's a true pleasure, and I'm grateful to be with you today.
All right. Thank you so much, Dylan, for your transparency and then powerful insights. It was quite an amazing session. Thanks so much to learn from. And I believe our founders will learn a few things from this as well, and kick on and have successful companies. But thank you so much for availing yourself and speaking to us. It's a real
Amen.
pleasure
I'm grateful
having
to
you.
be here. Happy Friday. Have a great rest of the event. Follow me on LinkedIn. Let's stay in touch. Take care, team.
Thank you. All right.
Bye.
So that was our speaker, Dylan. It was quite an amazing session having him on, and very thankful for him and showing up as well. In terms of so it's been an amazing conversation with Dylan. It was quite impactful, and I'm sure you learned a lot from him. It was more practical in terms of keeping up with high performance teams and keeping the healthy team, as well as keeping them as motivated as they can. We're building high performance teams and healthy startups. Okay. And as a reminder, before we wrap up for the session, I've announced those that have been selected for the pitch competition, right? Early on, I brought that up in terms of the list of the 50 that were selected during the those that submitted for the cohort feature, right? So if you did submit yours early enough, we selected the first 50 to take part in the pitch competition, and I went through this whole list before. So you received a link via email afterwards. Remember, voting starts on November 3rd to November 10th, right? Then after November 10th, we go through the voting results and see the top 10 will be selected to pitch during the Digital Startup Summit. Okay, so we look forward to that. One, if you see your name on the list, remember to galvanize your community to vote for you. Share the link that we would share with you via email, and make sure to get as many votes as you can to get the opportunity to pitch during the Digital Startup Summit. It's one of our iconic summits that we'll be holding on November 19th. Okay, so look forward to that as well. That's the announcement that you need to know. The deadline is today, so we selected the 50 that the first 50 that submitted their details, and voting will begin on November 3rd and close on November 10th. And the top 10 we selected to demo and pitch on the GSE during the GSE Digital Startup Summit on November 19th. So this is where we'll wrap up for the session today. Thank you all so much for joining us always. And it's a pleasure hosting the session. Happy Friday, happy weekend, and we'll kick on with the session, the set session on Wednesday next week. So I look forward to that and update you on the speakers that will be joining the session. Okay. Thank you so much. And for those that shared as well, thank you as we look to the next session. Do enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.